Prince Nassim Hamed, a name synonymous with flair and audacity, was not just another contender in the boxing ring. He was a spectacle, electrifying audiences with his dazzling entrances and explosive knockouts. But everything he built came crashing down on April 7, 2001, during a monumental fight against the tough and determined Marco Antonio Barrera. This wasn't just any boxing match, it was a pivotal moment that would redefine Hamed's legacy forever. What really happened that night? Join us as we delve into the captivating details of a fight that left the boxing world buzzing and proved that even the brightest stars can dim. The rise of Hamed. In the early 90s, a young fighter from Sheffield, England, began carving his path in the world of boxing, and his name was Prince Nassim Hamed. With an electrifying mix of skill, charisma, and a flair for the dramatic, he quickly became a household name. Hamed emerged onto the British boxing scene in 1992, capturing the attention of fans and critics alike with his unconventional style and showmanship. He brought something fresh to the sport, a blend of technical finesse and sheer entertainment that had everyone buzzing. But it wasn't just about the punches for Hamed, it was the way he delivered them. Flamboyant entrances and eye-catching attire made every fight feel like an event. He didn't just step into the ring, he took center stage, often donning a gold crown and draped in dazzling robes. However, it wasn't merely his glittering persona that earned him respect, it was his power, knocking out over 80% of his opponents, matched with agile footwork that left adversaries bewildered. Hamed's rapid rise attracted a mix of admiration and skepticism. Purists questioned his commitment to the sport, claiming his attention to style overshadowed his skills. Nevertheless, he silenced doubters with each sequential victory. From WBO titleholder in 1995 to dominating the featherweight division, he showcased his punching prowess against a slew of contenders. His highlight reel was bursting with memorable knockouts, each one affirming why he was destined for greatness. As Hamed ascended the ranks, the weight of expectations grew heavier. With each title he captured, the pressure mounted to prove he was more than just a showman. Critics were eager to see if he could withstand the test of a true challenge, compare his status to iconic champions before him, and cement his legacy in the annals of boxing history. Would he rise to the occasion, or could flair and confidence only take him so far? As Hamed stood at the pinnacle, he seemed invincible. But beneath the surface, whispers of struggle began to emerge. His ambitions soared as high as the golden crowns he wore, but the journey to the top was fraught with obstacles that would soon come to light. The boxing world watched, eager to learn if Hamed could retain the magic as he transitioned from his earlier bouts to the ultimate test that awaited, the looming clash with Marco Antonio Barrera. As the anticipation grew, so did the stakes. Would Hamed's rise culminate in a triumphant defense of his title, or would it expose vulnerabilities that had long been overlooked? The stage was set, and the boxing community held its breath, awaiting the next chapter in Prince Nassim Hamed's unfolding saga. Setback with trainer changes. After establishing himself as a force in the boxing world, Hamed faced a pivotal moment when he parted ways with his longtime mentor, Brendan Ingle. This decision shocked many fans and insiders who believed their partnership was integral to Hamed's success. He then began training with legendary coach Emanuel Stewart, hoping to elevate his game even further. However, the transition didn't go as smoothly as anticipated. Stewart's rigorous training regimen contrasted sharply with the more creative approach Hamed was used to with Ingle. Reports emerged of Hamed struggling to adapt to Stewart's disciplined methods, leading to inconsistencies in his preparation. As his fame continued to grow, Hamed found himself distracted by outside pressures, celebrity status, lavish lifestyles, and expectations. Training sessions became sporadic, and whispers circulated about his commitment level. Could these changes and distractions undermine Hamed's focus in the months leading to his showdown against Barrera? The once lightning-quick fighter now faced not just opponents in the ring but also his own wavering dedication. This departure from his established training plan would ultimately put Hamed's legacy at risk, setting the stage for his high-stakes battle with Barrera. As the date of the fight approached, fans began to wonder whether Hamed's dazzling skills were a product of raw talent or if his earlier success was largely due to a more united team effort. Would he rise above these setbacks or crumble under the weight of these changes? The tension hung palpably in the air as his fight night approached. The anticipation of the Barrera fight. As the date for the showdown drew closer, fans and analysts alike buzzed with excitement. This wasn't just another fight, it was a collision of contrasting styles and personalities. Hamed, known for his flamboyant entrances and cocky confidence, was set to face Marco Antonio Barrera, a fighter revered for his skill and discipline. Both men held reputations that preceded them, but questions lingered in the air. Would Hamed's unorthodox techniques and power be enough to handle Barrera's traditional, tactical approach? Promoters capitalized on the hype, with media outlets covering every aspect of the build-up. They showcased Hamed's extravagant lifestyle contrasted with Barrera's focused training regimen. Fans couldn't get enough. They witnessed Hamed's magnetic charm as he made bold proclamations, vowing to shock the world and cement his legacy as a true champion. Additionally, Barrera's quiet intensity only heightened the intrigue. His calm demeanor and hard work in the gym suggested he was prepared to dethrone the flamboyant prince. The anticipation was palpable. Fans from both sides flooded the arena, sporting their fighters' colors and chanting battle cries, creating an electric atmosphere. Meanwhile, the tale of this fight added layers of intrigue. Questions arose about Hamed's decision to switch trainers, which stirred skepticism among boxing purists. Had he truly prepared adequately for this challenge? Or was he underestimating the skill level of an opponent like Barrera? As the fight night approached, speculation thickened. Boxing legends weighed in, debating who would walk away victorious. Would Hamed showcase his signature assertiveness and launch himself back into the spotlight? Or would Barrera, with his methodical and strategic fighting style, exploit any weaknesses? With plenty of drama unfolding, the matchup became not only about titles but also about pride. Fans were ready to witness greatness and possibly see a fan-favorite champion like Hamed face the biggest test of his career. The countdown had begun, and anticipation reached a fever pitch. It was a fight that would stay etched in boxing history. Fight Night, Clash of Titans. The atmosphere on April 7, 2001, was electric, filled with anticipation as boxing fans packed the arena, eager to witness the highly anticipated clash between Prince Nassim Hamed and Marco Antonio Barrera. As the fighters made their entrances, it was clear they were preparing for more than just a match. This was about personal pride, reputations, and legacies. The bell rang, and the tension in the air was palpable. Right from the first round, it became evident this would be an intense battle. Barrera, the underdog in many eyes, came out strong, showcasing his impressive speed and technique. He danced around the ring with precision while Hamed, known for his unorthodox style, looked to assert his dominance. But Barrera was unfazed, avoiding Hamed's wild swings with ease. Hamed's flashy showmanship, which often intimidated opponents, seemed to lose its edge against Barrera's calm demeanor. As the rounds dragged on, a clear narrative began to unfold. Barrera's combinations landed with an accuracy that surprised many, catching Hamed off guard. Hamed's usual relentless offensive was stifled, and he found himself on the defensive more than he anticipated. The energy of the crowd shifted, cheers for Hamed began to mix with murmurs of disbelief as they witnessed Barrera's tactical prowess. Each round told a new story, with Barrera pushing Hamed back, landing punch after punch while showcasing impeccable footwork. The audience could feel the pressure mounting as the rounds ticked away. Fans, who once believed Hamed's knockout punches would seal his victory, were now questioning whether he could even stay on his feet against this relentless onslaught. By the fifth round, it was clear Hamed was not in his typical rhythm. Despite throwing his signature hooks and jabs, many missed their target as Barrera slipped them effortlessly. Hamed's frustration was palpable. He began to stray from his game plan, taking unnecessary risks. The confident swagger that had defined his persona seemed to evaporate, replaced by a fighter who suddenly felt very human in the face of adversity. With each passing moment, Barrera's tactical assault wore on Hamed. The crowd's expectations began to transform into disbelief as they witnessed the transformation of this match. Hamed's spark was dimming, and by the end of the round, it was obvious victory would not come easily for him. What began as a spectacle was now a lesson in strategy and resilience, leaving everyone in awe of the fight unfolding before their eyes. As the bell rang for the final rounds, the tension was at its peak. But this was no longer just about a match, it was about how Hamed would handle the reality of being outperformed in front of his fans. The night was marked not only by punches thrown but by a humbling experience that would echo in boxing history, setting the stage for the controversial legacy that followed. The turning point. As the fifth round began, the atmosphere in the arena crackled with anticipation. Hamed, known for his explosive style, seemed hesitant. Barrera, however, seized the moment. His ability to anticipate Hamed's moves created a rhythm that was hard to break. In this critical round, Barrera launched a series of combinations that landed cleanly, sending a clear message: he was not there to play around. Hamed attempted to rely on his unorthodox footwork and movement to evade Barrera's attacks, but it was becoming increasingly ineffective. Barrera's relentless pursuit exposed Hamed's weaknesses, forcing him to adapt quickly or risk further punishment. For the first time, Hamed appeared visibly frustrated, an emotion rarely associated with the electrifying fighter who had once danced around his opponents with ease. This turning point marked a shift from flashy showmanship to a gritty, survival mode for Hamed. Every powerful jab from Barrera took a toll, and the crowd could feel the tension build. Moments of hesitation led to a crucial error. Hamed dropped his hands, inviting Barrera's fury. Barrera capitalized, landing shot after shot, leaving the crowd gasping at the sheer volume of punches thrown. Suddenly, it wasn't just about glory or a title, it was about Hamed's very reputation and resilience. In a matter of moments, the fight went from a test of skill to a battle for survival, something Hamed had never truly faced before. Each punch Barrera landed embedded a seed of doubt in Hamed's mind, while the roar of the crowd shifted from cheers for Hamed to gasps of disbelief. As the fifth round came to a close, the once confident showman was now fighting against the tide, trying to regain the upper hand in a fight that was slipping away from him with each passing second. Would he summon the strength to turn it around, or was this the moment when Barrera sealed his victory? With Barrera applying pressure and taking control of the fight, one couldn't help but wonder, could Hamed regroup and mount a comeback, or was this it for his reign in the spotlight? The series of choices made in these pivotal moments would ultimately define both fighters' legacies forever. The tension in the air was palpable, and everyone was left on the edge of their seats wondering what would happen next in this dramatic saga. An unexpected downfall. As the fight progressed, Hamed's bravado began to fade, replaced by frustration and confusion. The audience could sense a shift, the once unshakable confidence that had defined Hamed was being tested. He struggled to adapt to Barrera's relentless pace and tactical prowess. Shots that would normally have put his opponents on the canvas barely grazed Barrera, revealing holes in Hamed's strategy. With each passing round, Barrera's aggression continued to strip away Hamed's momentum. He targeted Hamed's weaknesses with precision, launching a flurry of combinations that kept Hamed on the defensive. The loud cheers of the crowd resonated as Barrera landed punch after punch, painting a stark contrast to Hamed's increasingly desperate attempts to regain control. What had started as a promising encounter quickly morphed into a grueling battle of survival for Hamed. The pressure mounted on Hamed, especially when he found himself trapped in the corners. Barrera capitalized on Hamed's momentary lapses, delivering punishing blows that rattled his confidence. With each round slipping away, the odds stacked higher against the fighter known for his quick footwork and explosive power. The dazzling flair that once made Hamed famous began to crumble under the weight of Barrera's tactical superiority. But that wasn't the whole story. There were conversations outside the ring about Hamed's lifestyle choices leading up to the fight. Speculations arose regarding his late-night escapades and dwindling commitment to training. Had they finally caught up with him, or was Barrera simply a fighter who had done his homework? As the fight reached its later stages, it became a harrowing display of endurance. Hamed still showcased flashes of brilliance, but they were overshadowed by Barrera's relentless onslaught. It was a painful realization: the fighter who thrived on flashy victories and bravado was facing a humbling reality. The spectators, once wild with excitement, now watched in hushed disbelief as Barrera maintained control. In the closing rounds, it became painfully clear: Hamed's unexpected downfall was not merely a momentary setback, it marked a pivotal shift in his career. And as the final bell rang, the boxing world braced itself for what came next, setting the stage for a legacy forever altered by that night. Conclusion: legacy impacted. The fallout from that iconic night didn't just impact Hamed's career, it shifted the very landscape of boxing. Hamed, once the epitome of confidence and swagger, found himself at a crossroads. Many looked at him through a revised lens, questioning whether he could still reclaim his status among the greats. Yet, while the defeat was painful, it also sparked an intriguing narrative. Could he rise from the ashes? Would he adapt and evolve his fighting style? As his fans leaned in, whispers of potential comebacks and matchups against rising stars began to fill the air. Despite the loss to Barrera, Hamed's legacy as one of boxing's most electrifying figures remained intact. The story of his career continues to be a topic of discussion, inspiring both admiration and debate. Even in defeat, Hamed's journey became a compelling testament to the resilience of a fighter. As we look back, we're reminded that in the world of boxing, every setback can lead to a new chapter, and for Hamed, the story is far from over. Viewers are left pondering: how does one define a champion? Is it solely by victories, or is it the heart to keep moving forward? The answer may lie in the unpredictable nature of the sport itself, keeping fans hooked long after the final bell.